Now on AM 940, Montreal's Greatest Hits presents the VIP Business Talk Show with Don Emilio Zinno.
Hello, North America, and welcome to another segment of the VIP Business Talk Show. This is Don Emilio Zinno, your host. Guys, do we have a treat for you tonight? Everybody's been waiting. We had a last-minute surprise thanks to our studio guests, but we have a guest all the way from Los Angeles, California, Hollywood City, and you've got two guesses, okay? One's coming from me, which sounds something like this. Arrgh! No good? Hit it, Larry.
Dr. David Banner, physician, scientist, searching for a way to tap into the hidden strengths that all humans have. Then an accidental overdose of gamma radiation interacts with his unique body chemistry. And now when David Banner grows angry or outraged, a startling metamorphosis occurs. The creature is driven by rage and pursued by an investigative reporter.
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
An accidental explosion took the life of a fellow scientist and supposedly David Banner as well. The reporter thinks the creature was responsible.
I gave a description to all the law enforcement agencies. They got a warrant for murder out of him.
A murder which David Banner can never prove he or the creature didn't commit. So he must let the world go on thinking that he too is dead, until he can find a way to control the raging spirit that dwells within him.
And we're back here on the VIP Business Talk Show. If you haven't guessed by now, the living legend, the star of the 1978 series, The Incredible Hulk, all the way from Los Angeles, California, Mr. Lou Ferrigno. Mr. Ferrigno, you there?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. Mr. Ferrigno, as I told you off air a couple of days ago, I must confess, I'm an avid fan of yours. I've seen every one of your series. I've seen some of your movies, which we're going to talk about later on. I mean, who did not want to be the Hulk subconsciously way back, 30 years ago? I mean, phenomenal. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Well, the legacy still continues every 30 years because there's nothing like the series, and I'm still very happy to be associated with that character, and plus the last two movies I've been featured in.
Right. I mean, I'm going. You're taking me back a blast from the past. I remember 30 years ago, every week I'd be glued to the TV. I mean, I was into physical fitness then, and of course, you were an inspiration to a lot of guys, and some younger, some older, but you were a total all-American inspiration, and we watched your show. And of course, with all due respect to the late Bill Bixby, he was a great actor. But when he turned into you, I mean everybody, it was awesome. It was larger than life. I mean, you were and you still in my book, you are the Hulk. You're irreplaceable. You're a living legend. Thank you for being on our show.
Thank you.
Now, first of all, I want to make mention how you and I met, with all due respect, because I take claim that I know a lot of people worldwide. It's the truth, but I would have never met you if it wasn't for our two studio guests, and I'd like for them to say hello, Mr. Oscar Yazigian and Alex Laprova, and they're here. Hi, guys. How are you? Welcome to our show.
Hi.
Hey,
thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. And these guys here, folks, are the organizers of the Montreal Comic Festival coming up this weekend. And one thing led to another. I had contacted them, and I found out that the great Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk, was going to be their main guest at this event. I says, we got to interview Mr. Ferrigno. I mean, at all costs. And one thing led to another, and it all happened over the weekend, and I'm excited, as you can tell. I'm not my normal self. So, Mr. Ferrigno, I know you're flying in from Los Angeles Friday evening. Is that correct?
Yes, I'll be arriving on Friday late afternoon. I'm looking forward to coming to be to Montreal and looking forward to that big upcoming convention this weekend.
Well, the welcome wagon is going to be there for you. Believe me, I'm going to be part of the welcome wagon. I can't wait to shake your hand, provided you're not going to squeeze it too hard, are you?
I promise I won't.
Yeah, because I'm a wuss. I'm a sissy. You know, I'm going to start crying if you hurt me.
Well, that's okay. I'm always nice and gentle, you know.
Tell us something. Like, if you don't mind, you know, obviously you've been asked this a million times, I'm sure. I just want to go back, you know, to the original Hulk series. I mean, the one and only. How were you chosen for the part? I know you've been Mr. Universe twice. I mean, the body on you was out of this world, and I'm sure you've invested a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Could you talk to us about your career when you started bodybuilding, and how long ago was that?
Well, I began bodybuilding at the age of 12. I've been weight training now for 45 years, and I've won many, many titles. At the answer to your question, they were shooting the pilot of the Hulk. They had another big guy, and apparently one day a director came on the set with his son, and the boy said to his father, "Daddy, that's not the Hulk. He has to look like the big guy in the comics and everything." So they did a nationwide search, and I was called to go for the audition. Because at that time, I was training for the Mr. Olympia competition. So when I went for the audition, I said to myself, the Hulk is mine. And I was excited, and I was hired the next day. That's how it began, and then the rest of it is history.
Mm-hmm. And how did you feel during the screen test?
Well, I felt great because I knew I was perfect to play the part, and I was actually the Hulk my whole life. And I remember when I went down for the screen test, they painted me green because they were in trouble. I mean, they were filming this pilot, and they were going to almost have to shelf it. But when I came along, it saved the pilot, and they knew that they had the perfect Hulk. It was a perfect time and place. And fortunately, I just moved to California, so it was just wonderful. I mean, I couldn't bet a better time for an audition.
Now, you're originally, please correct me if I'm wrong, I've done some homework. You're originally from Brooklyn, New York?
Correct.
All right. Now, what made you move to California? Was it the bodybuilding career?
It was the bodybuilding because I won the universe twice, and I wanted to move to California to train even harder to win the Mr. Olympia title because California, at the time, was the mecca for bodybuilding.
Right.
So
Agreed.
always, as a kid, I always wanted to move there. I wanted to train with the other guys and the other champion and to better myself. And plus, I wanted to live in California because I've always been a fan of the Sunshine State.
Right. I would agree with you there. Mr. Ferrigno, let me ask you another question. I've seen one of your interviews with Larry King live, and with respect to the late Michael Jackson, with whom you were very good friends, apparently. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Now, you had mentioned...
Over 20 years.
Right. You had mentioned you were his personal trainer at times, from an amicable standpoint. Like you did it as a favor to him. Is that correct?
Well, over 20 years ago, I mean, he hired me as a trainer. We were friends, but I didn't talk about it because he didn't want to be publicized. But then when he got ready for the tour, he called me. He said, "I really need your help." So I got together with him because Michael trusted me because he didn't want anyone else. He knew that I knew his body, and he was all fired up. And we were very excited. I was looking forward to see him make this bigger comeback. But then, unfortunately, it wasn't his time to go.
But I'm not, with all due respect to the late Michael Jackson, I'm not here to talk about him. I'd like to talk about you some more. The only reason I brought this up is that you had mentioned live on Larry King Live that you and Michael Jackson had something in common about your upbringing, which propelled you into being, out of this world, just like Michael Jackson became, the pop icon. What did you have in common with Michael Jackson?
Well, we had similar fathers. We were both extremists. Michael, I worship and I respected what he did in the music industry with his drive. And Michael always worshiped my passion for fitness, what I achieved. So we collaborated together because we were like two kids. And we shared the same thing because we have very abusive fathers. So basically we shared that. And that's how I became close friends because, we have two extremists. You have a lot to share together because we admire each other's drive and passion to achieve greatness like we've been doing.
Now, correct me again if I'm wrong. Your father was in the police force of some kind?
Yeah, it's funny that I became a deputy sheriff 4 years ago in the state of California.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, my father was a retired police lieutenant, so he was a very stern father.
Is he still alive, if I may ask?
Oh, no, he passed away about 7 years ago.
Okay, and because you said you had a tough childhood with him, do you regret that? Do you kind of thank him for making you the strong person that you are today?
Well, I've taken the good with the bad because I always look at the good because you forget about the bad, and I always, try to be a better father like myself because in his time when I was growing up, it was different back then. So basically, he instilled incredible work ethics in me. So I always take the good and focus on that.
Right.
I mean, you can't. They say you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your parents. So I just made the best out of it.
Right. And at the time that in the heydays of the Hulk mania, because it was Hulk mania, would you say your father was extremely proud of you? Did he show it, or he kept it low key?
Well, when the Pumping Iron came out, 25th anniversary, it was more like a love-hate relationship. So basically, on the outside. But he was proud of me in a way, but that I was able to break out of my shell and be successful. That's why I moved to California, because I wanted to grow up.
Right, agreed. Okay, now let's shy away from your late dad, with all due respect to him. What about, what propelled you to go into weightlifting and, be Mr. Universe twice? And, of course, you were in 1 or 2 Hercules films. Is that correct?
Yes, I made over 40 films. When I was very young, I lost a major part of my hearing, and I was very introverted, and I had difficulty speaking. So,
when did that happen, if I may ask?
I chose bodybuilding because I wanted to be better friends with myself, and it was a springboard for me to survive.
Can we talk about that, or should we skip? Can we talk about that childhood?
No, because I do a lot of work with hard of hearing and deaf kids, and it just made me a strong person. Because if I didn't have that disadvantage many years ago, I wouldn't be what I am now. They were the channel change from negative to positive, which is very powerful. That most people need to do. Right,
agreed. So when did that happen again, if I may ask?
Well, close to birth, I lost a major part of my hearing. And then over the years, I was kind of like one of those kids that got beaten up. I was skinny, I was small, so I took up bodybuilding.
Right.
And it just made me strong, and I maximized my personal power.
Right. Did you seek revenge when those kids beat you up, and then you became, bigger and stronger?
My revenge was success.
Say again, please.
My revenge was success.
Right. In other words,
meaning that I didn't have to go back.
Right.
And fight those guys. Success. They end up becoming my friends because they end up respecting me. But it's funny how success is your best revenge.
Right, agree. That's well said, especially coming from an icon like you.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about the days of the Incredible Hulk. I'm noticing here, it's folks, you're listening to Mr. Lou Ferrigno, the living legend, the Incredible Hulk, here on the V.I.P. Business Talk Show with Don Emilio Zinno, where the time is 7:13. Please, Mr. Ferrigno, stay on hold. When we come back, more with the Incredible Hulk.